So let's jump on. What did we discuss in our last class? S3. S3, we discussed about S3 basics and S3 versioning we have learned. Okay. And in that, if I ask you a few questions, we know buckets, objects, keys, etc. We know all these things. And yeah, by default, buckets are public or private? Private. By default, it is private. And then if required, we can make it public. And how many buckets you can create per account? 100 buckets. That is a soft limit. And then we have learned about versioning, right? And by default, versioning is enabled? No. By default, versioning is not enabled. And that too, the versioning is enabled on the bucket level or object level? Bucket level, but will be applied on object level. And so once you have enabled the version files will be created in the backend. So, and if accidentally you deleted the original object, so what marker is applied? Delete marker is applied. Very good. So how to restore it? You delete the delete marker, automatically your object will be restored. Fantastic. Can you suspend the versioning? Yes. So if you suspend the versioning, the previous files will have any impact? No, will not be any impact. Okay. And also, is it possible to download your version 1, version 2, previous old versions? Yes. Is it possible to download the delete marker? No, you cannot download. You can only delete it. And also, we know that S3 is limited storage or unlimited storage? Unlimited storage. And then what is the minimum object size? Minimum 0 bytes and maximum 5 terabyte. In single put, how much you can upload? 5 GB. 5 GB you can upload. And how do you break the files? Using MPU. What is MPU? Multi-part upload. So you can break the file chunk by chunk and you can upload it. Okay. So this is what we have discussed. What is the AWS recommendation size to go for MPU? 100 MB. Very good. Okay. You guys are superb as usual. Guys, please confirm. Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Okay. So just a caution. We are in Naresh IT and the power is gone. We are running on the generator. Okay. So just in case if power comes back, I might be disconnected and I'll connect it back. So please bear with me. Please be patient and I'll connect it back if at all it dropped. Okay. Okay. So today's topic is storage classes. What is that? Storage classes. So what is this storage class? I'll give you a small this thing. Okay. Do you remember in EC2 when we were learning about EC2, I gave you Pani Puri guy, business guy example. There are different types of business, different type of customers, right? Based on the customer, so AWS will give the pricing model. Similarly, here also in S3, let me give an example. If first customer will come, first customer will come and say, hey, AWS, I want to store the files. Hey, AWS, I want to store the files. And which is a service that AWS will suggest? S3. So he will say that, okay, go to S3, go and create bucket and upload all the objects and pay me how much ever you have used. So this first customer will go and then upload all the files, and he's regularly using the files. Frequently he's using it, and he's paying for that. Let's say he's paying 10 rupees, for example. So the first customer is using regularly, frequently he's using it, and he's paying it. Fine. The second customer will come and ask, hey, AWS, I want to store my files. And then AWS say that, no problem, go to S3, go and create buckets and upload it. And he does the same way. But after some time, the second customer will got one kind of feeling that the second customer is not using the data frequently. The first customer is using the data frequently, but second customer, not frequently. So the second customer started thinking, array, first customer is frequently using, he's paying 10 rupees. But I'm not using frequently. Why I need to pay 10 rupees? Correct? So he got to know that he got that kind of mindset, and he started asking AWS, hey, AWS, see, I'm not accessing the data frequently. Why I need to pay 10 rupees? Then AWS thought, okay, this is a valid point. So for that, AWS started creating called storage classes. What is that? Storage classes. So when you're uploading any objects into S3, must and should, you need to select the storage class. It is mandatory to select the storage class. So based on what I have told you now, how many storage classes are there? Two types. One is frequently, another one is not frequently. So whoever have a requirement to use the data frequently, go for the first one. And whoever doesn't have the data, doesn't need to access the data frequently, that means not frequently, go for the second one. So for that, AWS started creating multiple storage classes like this based on the requirement. So let us see. Now you understood what is storage classes? Okay. So is it mandatory to select the storage class while you are uploading the objects? Answer is yes. So I'll start with that. While uploading the objects into S3, selecting the storage class is mandatory. So now we need to know what are the storage classes. So number one, we call it as standard frequently access, FA. What is the first storage class, everyone? Standard frequently access. Standard frequently access. So this is the storage class where you guys can use it for general purpose frequently. So can I say that this is used for frequently access data? Yes. This is used for frequently access data. And whenever you are uploading the objects, if you select or don't select, there will be a default storage class will be there. And which one is the default storage class? Standard frequently access is the default storage class. So it is a default storage class. Certification question. So in certification, they'll ask, what is the default storage class in S3? Which one? Standard frequently access. Can we use this for regular purpose? So you can use this for a regular purpose. Guys, as this is frequently access, do you think that AWS will charge for a retrieval? Answer is no. Because see, you are accessing the data frequently and you are paying for it. So does AWS will say to retrieve the also you need to pay money? No. Right? Are there any retrieval charges here? No retrieval charges. Got it, Nana? Till here? Smooth as butter, slowly. Is it clear till here, everyone? Getting it? So standard frequently access. So this is used for the frequently access data, and this is a default storage class, okay, which we use for regular purpose. Is there any retrieval charges here? No retrieval charges. That is the first one. So now let's go for the second one, which is called standard infrequently access. SFA or IA, infrequently access. What is the second storage class, everyone? Standard infrequently access. Which one? Infrequently. First one is frequently access. Second one is infrequently access. As the name clearly says that, are you accessing this frequently or infrequently? It is infrequently. Here, this is used for infrequently access data. Okay. Now, you might have a mindset like this, sir. Anyways, the first storage class, I'm paying 10 rupees, for example. Why I need to go for 10 rupees? Which one is cheaper, frequently or infrequently? Infrequently will be the cheaper one. So you might think, sir, I'll go with infrequently and I'll access it and I'll pay less price. Can you do that? No, because why? You have retrieval charges here? Answer is yes. Do you have retrieval charges? Yes. Because as it is infrequently, must ensure there will be a retrieval charges apply. So how many times you started retrieving the data, accessing the data, you need to pay for that. So here, sir, infrequently access data meaning how much infrequently? Once a day, twice a day, or once in a month? Guys, it is once in a month. Once or twice in a month. You can access it. Otherwise, so if you are accessing frequently, you will need to pay more money there. Is it cheaper than FA? Cheaper than FA. Getting it clear? So that is standard infrequently access. And now, by seeing these two, third customer also came. Third customer also came and asked, hey, AWS, I want to store the files. And AWS will say that, hey, Babu, I have two storage classes. One is frequently access, which is I'm storing the data very critical. It is, guys, S3 is serverless, no? And who will be taking care of high availability of S3 and all? AWS only. Do we need to worry about the data? No, we will upload the data and we'll forget it. Who will take care of it? AWS will take care of it. So AWS will say that, hey, I have two storage classes. One is frequently, another one is infrequently. Frequently, I'm storing the data, very important. Critically, I'm saving your data, and infrequently also I'm saving it. But that is frequently, this is infrequently. Whichever you want to choose, choose it. And third customer will say that he started thinking. And he says that, AWS, I want to access it frequently. So which one will you suggest? A customer want to access the data frequently. So which storage class will you suggest? The first one you will say, standard frequently access, you will select. So, but customer has one clause. Customer says that, okay, I'll use frequently, but my data is not critical. Customer is saying that, Babu, my data is not critical. Anyways, the first customer is paying 10 rupees, which is data is critical. You are storing the data, you are keeping safe the data. But my data is not critical, that much is not critical, but I want to access it frequently, but data is not critical. Data is not critical. So in this case, in the first one, data is critical or not critical? Critical. But this guy customer is saying data is not critical. Why is he saying all these things? He want to have a discount. He want to have a cheaper price. So for this, AWS came up with another storage class, which is called reduce redundancy storage. Reduce redundancy storage. RRS. Reduce redundancy storage. So there is a question, FA having no retrieval charges and how cheaper than FA? So You are storing files in FA, frequently access, and you're paying 10 rupees. And there are so many photos or files that you are not using at all. If you're keeping it in the first one unnecessarily, you pay 10 rupees, whether you use it or don't use it. In that case, if you move this, if you move these documents to IA, do you need to pay that much amount? No need. You don't need to pay for that much amount. Correct? That's why it is cheaper. So which one is this? Reduced redundancy storage, which is RRS. So now what is the concept for this? It is frequently accessed data, but not critical. Frequently accessed, but not critical. As we have, is it frequently? If it is frequently, retrieval charges apply or not apply? Retrieval charges for frequently, no retrieval charges. No retrieval charges. Guys, as the name says, reduce redundancy storage. What is redundancy? Remember in starting days? Keeping the same copy in multiple locations, right? Multiple. So here, if you're going with RRS, that meaning AWS is keeping your copy in multiple locations? No. That's why reduced redundancy. So your redundancy has been reduced on your documents, on your objects. Would you recommend to, would you go for this RRS? No. AWS itself is saying that, Babu, I don't recommend. AWS doesn't recommend this to use this storage class because it is reduced redundancy storage. Is it cheaper than others? It is cheaper than others. Okay, this is called RRS. And now another customer came again. Another customer came and says that, Babu, AWS, I want to store my data. And AWS says that go to S3. And now how many storage classes are there? 3. One is frequently accessing. Second one is infrequently. Third one is frequently, but data not critical. And then AWS asks, hey, customer, can you choose any of these 3? And this customer will say that, no, AWS, I don't want to access it frequently. That meaning infrequently you want to access. So which one would you suggest? Second one. Infrequently meaning second one. So, but this guy is saying that my data is not critical. Not critical. So the first one is frequently accessed, which is critical. Second one is infrequently accessed, which is critical. Third one is frequently accessed, not critical. Fourth one is infrequently accessed, not critical. So for that, AWS says they implemented one more storage class, which is called one zone IA. Which one? The name itself says one zone. How many availability? Guys, here availability. Do we have a concept of availability zones in S3? No. Did we discuss anything about availability zone in S3? No. But all your data is stored in the backend in available data centers only. No. Data center is nothing but availability zones in the back. So here, if you are going with one zone IA, in how many availability zones your data is saving? Only one. One zone. Only one zone availability zone. So would you recommend for this? No. But if you want to have a cheaper price, go for it. So this one is infrequently access data, but not critical. If you have a requirement on this, go for it. As it is infrequently, retrieval charges apply or not? Retrieval charges apply. See how many storage classes are there. And now another customer came. Another customer came and he says, hey, AWS, I want to store some files or documents. And AWS said that I have frequently access, infrequently access, and RRS one zone IA. Choose any of these 4. And customer is not responding. Customer is not responding. And AWS says that, Babu, what happened? Tell me, what kind of storage does that you need? And he says that, I don't know. What's that? So AWS is asking, Babu, whether you want to access it frequently or infrequently. Your data is critical or not critical. Tell me. He says that, I don't know, like Gajini type. So he don't know how he is accessing it. Sometimes he might access frequently. Sometimes he don't want to access it frequently. It is completely depend on the requirement. So he cannot say which is the pattern. For this kind of people also, AWS came up with the storage class, which is called intelligent tier. What is that? Intelligent tier. Intelligent tier. Intelligent tier meaning unknown access patterns. What is that, Nana? Unknown access patterns. Unknown access patterns. So if you go for intelligent tier, what will happen is, based on your data, whether you are accessing it frequently or not frequently, based on that, it will shift from FA to IA, IA to FA. So based on your, based on your access, automatically shifting from this to this and this to this. That is intelligent tier. Okay. And then, which is a service where you can go and archive, guys? What happened? Sai Kiran. Which one is that? Glacier. Glacier. Do you remember? If you are not using data, Glacier is frequently accessed or infrequently accessed? Intelligent is only for FA and IA, correct. Sai Kiran, correct. Glacier is frequently, infrequently? Infrequently. So this Glacier is infrequently accessed data. And this is used for archive purpose? Archiving purpose. So, of course. So, guys, in S3, what do you create? Buckets we create, correct? We create bucket. In Glacier, okay, in S3, we create the buckets. Inside the buckets, what we have? Objects. Similarly, in Glacier, instead of buckets, we need to call it as in Glacier, vault. What's that? Vault. And vault contains archives. What is that? Vault contain archives. So what is the thing we need to call it as? Vault, V-A-U-L-T, vault. So can I say vault is nothing but it's a container of archives? Guys, what do we do in Glacier? In Glacier, we archive all our files. The archive is nothing but zip file, zip. Right click and zip it, right? Archiving. So you push it all the archive files into the vault. And we have archive. What is archive? Archive is nothing but your object, correct? Object or your zip file is nothing but your archive. Guys, one archive. What is this maximum size of one object in S3? 5 TB, correct? Here, one archive, that meaning one zip file can be up to 40 terabyte. How much? 40 terabyte. One archive can be up to 40 terabyte. It's huge. Guys, I'm telling about one archive only, one zip file. Like this, you can have unlimited number of archives. In one vault. You can have like this unlimited number of archives in one vault. And like this, you can create 1,000 vaults. How many vaults you can create? 1,000. Guys, as this is infrequently, retrieval charges apply or not? Retrieval charges apply. In Glacier, retrieval charges apply. So Glacier, if you're not using the data frequently, in Glacier, if you're not using the data frequently, push it to Glacier. And will you go and retrieve the data very frequently? Don't do that. We don't do it. Infrequently, once in a while, you have to do it. So here, Glacier has retrieval options. Glacier has retrieval options. What are the options you have? Number one, we call it as expedited. Expedited meaning if you want to retrieve the data, you will get within 1 to 5 minutes if you have minimum data. And then you have standard, which will take 3 to 5 hours time. And then you have bulk, which will take 5 to 12 hours. So based on your requirement, you can go and choose the retrieval option. So you want to immediately get it, your file. Let's say you have found document and it is in Glacier. Immediately want to retrieve. Which one we go for? Expedited, you go for it. And if you have a huge data, go with the bulk or standard. Excellent. Is this clear, Nana? Till here, everyone? Smooth as butter. Okay. Very good. Okay, very good. So Nana, what is, okay, I'll write two things here. We have two things, availability, durability. Availability, durability. Tell me, what is availability? What is availability? Availability. Which is always available, no? Simple as that, which is always available. Whenever you go, it should be always available for you. Durability, long time. So can I say availability meaning anytime? Durability meaning long time. Simple. Availability meaning anytime. So here, so availability, I call it as anytime. And then durability meaning long time. Simple as that. Simple. Availability, anytime, durability, long time. Okay, so now I'm just giving this for the certification purpose. For every storage class, guys, for every storage class, we should know what is the availability, what is the durability. So here, availability here is 99.99%. How much? 99.99. And durability is 11 nines, 99.999999. So 11 nines are there. So availability is 99.99%, durability is 11.9. And for this, it is 99.19 because it is infrequently accessed. For this, as it is reduced redundancy, durability got reduced to 99.99%. And for this, one zone, availability got reduced to like this. And yeah. And here it is reduced to 19. And here it is 99.99%, 11 nines. So it is more than 99.9%. Do you need to worry about the data? No, because any time you go, data will be there. For how much time? 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, 100 year, 200 year, until we are alive, the data is still there, will be there in S3. 11 nines, 119 meaning, I should write like this, tell me. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like this. This is 11 nines. Instead of writing like this, I put 11 nines. Okay. What is the minimum object size? 0 bytes, correct? The minimum object size is 0 bytes. For infrequently accessed, the minimum object size is 128 KB. Certification question. The minimum size is 128 KB. And for this also 128 KB. And also guys, one certification question I'm asking you, answer me. Now you are storing all your files. Let's say you are using regularly. Frequently you're using. Which storage class would you choose? Standard, frequently. First one will you choose? Okay. After certain period of time, you are not using it frequently at all. What do you do? So can we move your objects from standard frequently access to infrequently? So can we change? Can we move the objects from one storage class to another storage class? Possible. Based on your requirement, you can move the objects from one storage class to another storage class. So, and we know we have learned so many storage classes. Based on the requirement, can you move to any of the storage class? Yes. And the question here is, you have so many millions of thousands of objects in your bucket. Is it possible for you to go and move the objects one by one? So for this, we have a concept called life cycle management. What is that? That life cycle management, we create a rule and then we'll say that, Babu, in this particular directory or in this bucket, move the objects from this storage class to this storage class. We can automate that. But here, there should be a minimum durations are there. So minimum duration here is 30 days. How many? So if you want to move to standard infrequently, what is the minimum duration? 30 days. That meaning, let's say today you have uploaded to frequently access. You have uploaded the object. After 30th day only, you can move it to infrequently. So how many days the object should be there in your S3 bucket? 30 days. That is minimum duration. And here also the minimum duration is 30 days. This is 30 days. And here in Glacier, minimum duration is 90 days. How many? How many guys? 90 days certification question. So, and also there is one more storage class, which we call it as deep Glacier. What is that? Deep Glacier. Deep Glacier is nothing but, we know Glacier, which you can archive. Deep Glacier meaning put your data and forget it. Put your data and forget it completely. And for that, minimum duration is 180 days. Sir, can we move this FAIA to Snow family also? No. Snow family is a physical data transfer. No, you cannot move it. Bhavana. So if I ask you a question, what is the feature is used to move your objects from one storage class to another storage class automatically? Life cycle management. Not manager. That is different. Where did you heard life cycle manager? EC2. Where you have to create, where you can create snapshots automatically, snapshots and AMIs. But this one is life cycle management. Here you need to create life cycle rules. You need to create life cycle rule. Life cycle rule. So I'll say it is possible to move the objects from one storage class to another storage class automatically by creating life cycle rules. See, in your bucket, can you create this lifecycle rule for your entire bucket also? You can create it. What is prefix? Prefix. Subfolder. Prefix is nothing but what is that? Subfolder. So in your bucket, can you have multiple folders? So this lifecycle rule can be applied for your whole bucket, or it can be applied to your folder level also. Let's say you want to move, guys, let's say, see, you are creating a new bucket now. You are creating a new bucket. And also, you know that, hey, after 30th date, after 30 days, after 40 days, 50 days, automatically all my objects should be moved from standard frequently to infrequently. So you can create a rule for your whole bucket also, or you can specifically for particular folder also you can create. Okay. So life cycle rules can be applied for entire bucket or for prefix. Prefix is nothing but subfolder. Is this clear? Clear, everyone? Any questions still here? Okay, fantastic. So this lifecycle rules can be created on the bucket level, and that will be applied to objects, correct? Yes. So can I call LCM? What is LCM? Lifecycle manager. You can call it as lifecycle manager, or lifecycle rules are created on bucket level but applied on object level. Okay, so let's say this is lifecycle management. In lifecycle management. So in lifecycle management, what do? We go and create LCM rules, lifecycle management rules we create. Yes or no? Guys, you can create the rules for your current version and also for your previous versions. Remember, we discussed about versions. This is a certification question. LCM rules can be created for your current versions also, for your previous versions also. Okay, let me give a scenario now. So all my data is stored in FA, frequently access. So after 30 days, I will move to infrequently access. Can I? After 30 days, and I will move to the Glacier. So Glacier, how many days minimum? 90 days. So already my object is there in infrequently access for how many days? 30 days. How many days left? 60. So Glacier, if you want to move to Glacier, after 60 days, you can move because 30 days is already there in IA, minimum duration. So minimum duration for the Glacier is 90 days. So the summary is like this. On day 0, it will be infrequently access. At day 30th, it will be on infrequently access. After day 60th, it will be moved to the Glacier automatically. So do you want to do it manually? No. If you create a rule, all the objects to storage classes will be changed from IA to FA to IA to Glacier. So what is this called? This one is called transition. Or what is that called? Transition. Okay, can I go and do like this? After, okay, I'll write 0th day and from 30th day and then 60th day. So after 60th day, where that object will be in which place? Glacier. Guys, can I also go ahead and say that delete after 365 days or how many days I want? Yes. So this is called expiration. What is called? Expiration. So in life cycle management, we have two things. What is that? Transition and expiration. Transition and expiration. Transition and expiration. So guys, in S3, there are small features. It's a very simple service, but you have so many features are there. So many features are there. Okay. Like this. Okay. Is this clear on the lifecycle rules? Okay. I'm making it very simple. Okay. Now you have small features are there like this. We have object lock. Can we lock the object? What is the meaning of object lock? If you lock the object, can you able to go and edit the object or file? You cannot edit, you cannot modify, you cannot delete, nothing. That is called object lock. So you can lock it permanently also. And for a certain period of time also, you can lock it. It's up to you. Okay, let's say for example, guys, this is the bucket I have. Let's say for example, this is the bucket name. Let's say bucket name called movies. What is the bucket name? Movies. So in this bucket, I have so many movies. In this bucket, I have so many movies. Don't ask me which movies. I have so many movies. Now, there might be a requirement in your real time. There might be a requirement in real time that you want to get the logs of your bucket. Who is accessing your bucket, correct? You have created your buckets and you should know, right? Who is accessing your bucket, from where they're accessing, from which IP, which area. So you need to know the logs. If you want to enable the logs, you can enable. And that concept, we call it as server access log. What is that called? What is that called? Server access log. Server access logs is nothing but bucket logs. Bucket access logs. Bucket access logs. Okay, now you tell me, I created a bucket called movies. I want to know, I want to have the logs. Is it better to create the logs in the same bucket, or is it better to create a separate bucket and keep the logs? Separate bucket, no? So it's up to you, right? You can create a separate bucket like this and then call it as movie logs, movie access logs, and then all the logs will be stored over here. All the logs will be stored over here. Okay. So you want to get to know the logs, right? So you want to get to know the logs, you can enable the logs. Okay, so this is current version and previous version. Current version meaning your current objects, your original objects. So can you move the object from one storage class to another storage class? Yes. For your previous version, meaning your older version objects also can be enabled for this. That is the meaning of current version and previous version. Pavanveer. Okay, guys, these server access logs are on object level or bucket level? Server access logs are bucket level or object level? It is on the bucket level, because I want to know who is accessing my bucket, correct? That is bucket logs. So who is accessing your bucket? You will get to know from this access logs. By default? No, nothing. Everything, if you want, you will need to go and use it. Okay, so guys, generally how the logs will be? Is it in readable format? Logs. Generally, it will not be readable format. I don't think so. Like this 192.168.10.10 and then 6 p.m. bucket. Everything, there is no puppy.jpg and they are using get method. And then you get success status scores at 200. So everything is single line. Is it possible? It is possible to understand, but it is clumsy, no? Yes or no? It is clumsy. One line you can understand. You might be having millions of lines. You might be having millions of lines. So how do you, in your real time, if you have millions of logs like this, is it possible to go through the entire logs and find out the particular requirement? It's very hard. For this, AWS came up with a service called Athena. Or is that? Not Antenna. It is Athena. Athena. What this Athena will do is, it will analyze the logs directly from S3. Because you have so many logs will be there. In one log file, you have millions, you have hundreds of lines will be there. What you can do is, guys, do you know SQL queries? Simply what you can do is, you can create a table. You can create a table. Right? You can create a table. And you can have a columns. No, you can access for any logs, but mostly logs are stored in S3. No, we can use it. Athena is not only for S3. Athena is a separate service completely. So you can create a columns like this: IP address, from where it is coming, source, destination, right? And which object they are using, which method they are using, right? Right? And which URL at what time. So everything you can create everything you can create a table, and you can call these logs inside this table. So everything can be, each and everything can be set in the rows. You can set in the rows, and you can write SQL queries and retrieve as per your requirement. You can write SQL queries and retrieve it. Because you have so many hundreds of thousands of lines will be there. It's very hard. So Athena will go and catch that log and retrieve all the logs and put it in their columns and rows. And if you know the queries, you can retrieve it specifically based on the requirement. You can retrieve it. Let's say if a manager come and say, hey, there was an hacking happened on a particular day, particular time, particular second. Is it possible for you to go and check the logs directly? No. But if you go with the Athena, you can write a query and then fetch it. Yes. Is it clear? Any questions still here? Smooth as butter, slowly, aram se. Nice. Easy, easy. As I said, there are so many features in AWS, in S3, sorry. Okay, now let's talk about, guys, this topic that I'm talking about is a real-time scenario. Most of the developers will face this issue. Let's try it. So once the developer faces this issue, they will come to you as an AWS engineer and they'll ask, can you please help? So what is that issue? Well, let's talk. It is called CORS. What is that? CORS. Cross origin resource sharing. What is that? Cross origin resource sharing. CORS. Okay, let me give real-time scenario. Guys, see here. Can you create a bucket? Assume this is my bucket. Listen this carefully. Okay, this is the bucket. Can I call this bucket name as CORS bucket 1? You can give any name. The bucket name is CORS bucket 1. See here, guys. Can I go and upload some index.html, enable static website hosting? In S3, can we enable static website hosting? Yes. So in S3, I went and enabled static. I have uploaded index.html. I went and enabled static website hosting. Okay, now in the same bucket, I uploaded puppy.jpg. Which one? Puppy.jpg. Tell me, guys, can I call this puppy.jpg in my index.html file? Huh? Developers knows. In HTML file, in HTML code, you can call any image from external, you can call. So my image is in which bucket? Same bucket or different bucket? Same bucket. My image is in the same bucket. So if I open my index.html in the browser like this is my browser. Okay. Guys, this is a real-time scenario. This is my browser. And can you open your application? What is our application name? Index.html, correct? Yes. Index. So if I open index.html, index.html will open with your puppy inside it. Yes or no? Your puppy will be here. Okay. Your puppy is here. Looks like puppy only, or looks like alien? Okay. So whenever, bah, how much affection you have on me, yeah? Some people say so cute. Some people say master of VFX. Bah. Ears missing, huh? Okay. Dieting puppy, yeah. Okay. Nice. So this is a puppy, yeah. So whenever you open index.html, puppy is visible because this will work. Yes or no? This will work or not? Yes, this will work. My puppy.jpg, my puppy is visible. Now, can you tell me what will be the URL of the puppy? Remember, I told you this URL. Tell me. First, CORS bucket 1 will be there. CORS BKT1 will be there. How does the object URL look like? Bucket name, service name. First, this one, region name, south -1 dot amazonaws.com/puppy.jpg. Is there any prefix here? I don't have a prefix. Directly, I'm uploading, right? This is my, guys, this is my URL, how it looks like. Okay. This is very common and it works. Is it clear, this one? Okay. Now, I'll create one more bucket, guys. I'll create one more bucket and I call it as CORS bucket 2. This time, I put the puppy.jpg here in another bucket. Guys, puppy.jpg in another bucket I put it. And I'm calling this puppy.jpg from this bucket in the index.html. Can you tell me, can puppy.jpg be load? Yes or no? So the puppy.jpg will not get on the index.html. Okay, why? And what is the URL here in second one? The same thing, but here instead of this thing, the CORS bucket 2 will be there. So guys, I'm giving the same path. I'm giving the same path here in index.html, another path. Can you tell me this is CORS bucket 1 is, can I say this is the origin? Yes. Can I say this is one origin? Yes. And can I say this CORS bucket 2, this is also another origin? This is also another origin. There are two different origins, correct? There are two different origins. This origin is different and CORS bucket 1 origin is different. Are they sharing the resources by default? No, they are not sharing the resources. So where you need to, so then this CORS will come into picture. Where you need to go and enable the CORS now? In bucket 1 or bucket 2? In bucket 2, here you need to go and enable the CORS. Because I'm calling puppy.jpg from another bucket. My index.html is in bucket 1. So I'm calling puppy.jpg from the other bucket, which is in different origin. Which is in the different origin. You're getting it. You're getting it or not? Right? So I'm calling puppy.jp, which is in the different origin in another bucket. So that's the reason why generally, if you have a two different origin or two different buckets, resources are not shared unless you go and share it. How do you share it? By enabling the CORS. So now puppy.jp is not visible from bucket 2, right? So I went and go and enable the CORS. So guys, in CORS is nothing but a small JSON script will be there. What is that? JSON script, a small snippet is there. You can, so there you need to mention to which origin you want to share this puppy.jpg. Which origin? CORS bucket 1. Which origin? CORS bucket 1. So either you can share it with the CORS bucket 1 origin, or you can put star. Star meaning to any origin, you can puppy.jpg will be accessible. So once you enable the CORS, now this puppy.jpg will be visible. Yes, correct. Is it clear? So generally you will get the errors like this. CORS is blocked. Generally you get the error like this. Developers, this will be very helpful for you. Is it clear? Everyone, guys? CORS. Don't worry. I'll show you all these practicals to you. Okay. Guys, is it mandatory to have puppy.jpg or any other file? It can be any other file. Okay. Very nice. So now, here, now we have CRR. What is that? CRR. Cross-region replication. What is that? Cross-region replication. Similarly, we have SRR. Yes meaning same region replication. As the name clearly says, what is this about? A replication. What is this about? A replication. So let's say, for example, I have a bucket here. Okay. So this bucket is in Mumbai region. Okay. This bucket is in Mumbai region. So now I have uploaded index.html, or you can take any file, no issues. I uploaded index.html. And I have another bucket. I have another bucket, which is in another region. Let's say which region? It's Ireland region. You can take any region. Now, whatever the object I have uploaded in bucket 1 should get replicated to bucket 2. Can you do that? Is that possible? Answer is yes. By using what? Cross-region replication. So, but for this, you need to create a CRR rule. Cross-region replication, you need to create a rule. Where? In bucket 1. Correct? From where you want to, from where to where you are replicating, there you need to create a rule. Where you create a rule here, CRR rule will be created here. So you will be saying, mirroring only. Right? CRR rule you created in this bucket. After creating it, any file that you have created after that, let's say puppy.jpg. So let's say puppy.jpg you have uploaded. So this will get replicated to this bucket. Okay. So this is happen using CRR. That means replication. Who will take care of replication? AWS will take care of the replication. Okay, now tell me, index.html will be replicated? No, because the CRR rule is created after index.html. But here, AWS can also, previously, guys, see here, previously, this option was not there. Existing objects, you need to copy it manually. But now AWS got updated and it says that you can also, existing objects can also be copied. And CRR is enabled by default? No, if required, yes. CRR is not enabled by default. And CRR is created on the bucket level or object level? Bucket level. Everything is on the bucket level only, guys. Okay, now I have a bucket. Guys, see here, I have another bucket here, which is the bucket is in Mumbai region. Which is the Mumbai region. Guys, if you're replicating from Mumbai to say another bucket, is it CRR or SRR? That is SRR. CRR or SRR is enabled on bucket level. And remember, to set up CRR and SRR, versioning should be enabled. Versioning is mandatory to have CRR or SRR. And existing objects can also be replicated at the time of creating CRR rule. So if it is one object, easily you can replicate it, guys. If you have so many thousands of objects, there is a concept called batch operation. What is that? Batch operation. So that meaning bulkily you can create a rule and bulkily you can move it. That is called batch operation. And by the way, guys, this CRR can be CRR and guys, CRR generally it is in the same account, right? This CRR can be done in the different account also. Let's say I have my bucket and Sashi he's in another account, correct? Can I replicate from my bucket to another account bucket? Possible. The CRR is also possible. That is certification question. Write down. So CRR buckets can be in same AWS account or different AWS accounts as well. That meaning CRR across AWS accounts also possible. Because this S3 cost is depend upon the storage only, no? And the data transfer. Remember, S3 cost, that is also certification question. S3 cost is depend on size of the object and data transfer. Clear? No, SRR, CRR, nothing is enabled by default. No. And by the way, here in previous one, bucket level logs can be enabled. But if you know object level log can be captured, can be seen or captured in CloudTrail. Which one? Guys, on the bucket level, we can get it from server access logs. But object level API operations, from where do you get it? CloudTrail, because CloudTrail is recording everything. That is also a certification question. Object level logs can be seen or captured in CloudTrail. Clear? Okay. Is this clear till here, everyone? Nice. As I said, these are all features in AWS in S3. You have so many features in S3. Is it mandated to that we need to use everything? No need. Based on the requirement, you have to go and see. Now, guys, when we talk about security, security is so we need to talk about encryption. No, we need to talk about encryption. Very important, guys. I'm talking not only in S3, in general. In general, this is certification question also. In general, in general, encryptions can be done in two ways. What is that? How many ways? Two ways. Encryptions can be done in two ways. One is, we call it as in-transit encryption. What is that? In transit. Another one is data at rest. What is that? Data at rest. What are the two things? Everyone say this. In-transit encryption, data at rest encryption. In-transit meaning, what is it generally in-transit meaning? Moving, in processing, moving. So guys, when the data is moving, where generally the data will be moved? In the URL only, no? HTTP. So if you want to encrypt that HTTP data transfer, we can encrypt through HTTPS. Yes or no? So in-transit encryption can be done using HTTPS. And then data at rest. What is the meaning of data at rest? That means data is sitting in one place. Generally, where is data sitting in one place? In volumes, no? In volumes, in S3, in EFS. So it's sitting, not traveling, in sitting position. So there also you can do the encryption. I told you this already before. Which is the service where you can create the encryption keys? KMS, fantastic. Which one? KMS, Key Management Service. So data at rest, you can encrypt it through KMS. In transit encryption through HTTPS. And also, we also did this. HTTPS certificates will be created in which service? ACM. Fantastic, Gopi. Right? ACM. Amazon Certificate Manager. Understood? So if you want, if you want to go with the in transit, go with the ACM. If you want to go with the data at rest, go with KMS. My screen is not visible. Can you see my screen, guys? So encryption can be done in, guys, it is very important and generally the certification question also. Okay. So encryption can be done in two ways. What are those? Number one is in-transit encryption. So in-transit encryption meaning encryption while data is moving or transferring. How do you do it? Using HTTPS. And what is the other one? Data at rest encryption. This one, encryption while data is at rest. And how can we do it? How do you do it? Using KMS. KMS. So Amazon Certificate Manager. Remember, we also did practicals on this, correct? I showed you how to create a certificate. So ACM. So ACM is where you can generate HTTPS certs. This in transit. And how do you do data at rest? That is from key management service, KMS. Okay, is where you can create encryption keys for data at rest. Okay, so that is in general encryption. But how do we do this in S3? Let's talk. Amazon S3 has 3 types of encryptions. Amazon S3 has how many types of encryptions? 3 types, guys. One is server-side encryption. These are all certification questions, guys. And then client-side encryption, in-transit encryption. So how do you do the in-transit encryption? Using HTTPS. And client-side encryption should be handled by whom? Should be handled by customer. That meaning us. That meaning customer. If you want to connect to S3, you can connect through VPN, right? So that data transfer from your company to AWS client-side encryption should be done by the customer. Guys, can I take 5 more minutes? No issues, no? Just give me 1 second, guys. I need to have a urgent call. Just 5 minutes, or just a couple of minutes, please. 1 second. Okay, so sorry for that. Important calls cannot be ignored. So not HTTP, HTTPS, Mishra. HTTP is not secure. HTTPS is secure. So here, server-side encryption. Guys, please bear with me for another 10 minutes because we need to finish this. So I cannot stop it in between. So server-side encryption. Okay, in server-side encryption, we have 3 types, which is SSE. SSE meaning server-side encryption. Shortcut I'm writing SSC, S3, SSC KMS, and SSC C. There are 3 types of encryption in AWS, guys. In S3, sorry, not in AWS, in S3. Hey, do you remember, guys? In EC2, in volumes, we encrypted it, remember? And in the bottom, we selected a default key, AWS/EBS. Remember? Like this, in every service, there will be a default key. In S3, AWS/S3 will be there. In RDS, AWS/RDS will be there. In EFS, AWS/EFS will be there. So Here also SSE S3 meaning, and that key is completely managed by whom? AWS only. So this is AWS managed key. This is AWS managed key. Okay. And KMS is, you know very well, AWS KMS key. And C meaning customer provided keys. Customer provided keys. So guys, very important. These are three types of keys, the three types of encryption. So what are those? Everyone say this: SSE S3, SSE KMS, SSE C. And which one is the most common default thing that we use? SSE S3. Which one? Remember, that is also a certification question. So most common encryption method or key that we use is here SSE S3. And also it uses an algorithm called AES 256. Which one? Perfect 100% certification question. What is that? AES 256. Advanced Encryption Standard. So S3 is using which algorithm? AES 256. And also guys, by default, bucket encryption is enabled. Which one? By default, your bucket is public or private? Private. And by default, encryption is enabled? Yes, remember, certification question. By default, bucket encryption is enabled. Nice. Okay. So guys, now listen this carefully. Guys, listen this carefully. Let's say this is the bucket. I'm just giving this information, additional information, because this is a certification question. Generally, whenever you create, let's say, after writing only, you will read. Read after write. Yes or no? Read after write will happen. So can we read it without writing it? No. Read after write. So here in S3, because this is a perfect certification question, we have something called S3 data consistency model. So you should just by heart this. You should just by heart this, guys. I'll give you 2 lines. You should remember this. Those 2 lines are like this. Read after write for puts of new objects. Read after write for puts of new objects. That is 1 line. And next one is eventually consistency for overwrites of puts and deletes. If you want me to explain this, I want your concentration, because this is little bit. 2 things. The first one, read after write. Guys, you are uploading object into S3. Yes or no? That is nothing but put. In API call, we call it as put. Put meaning upload. So you are uploading a new object only, correct? That is why you are uploading the new object, put, and you are reading it after writing it. Yes, that is why we call it as read after write for puts of new objects. And second thing is, let's say guys, in my index.html, I have a data called ABC. Later, I have modified to DEF. Sometimes you see, generally, sometimes you see in, if you modify any data in the file, sometimes it will not be visible. If you refresh, it will be visible. Yes or no? That means it is eventually consistency. Slowly, it will starting updated. Update where? When you overwrite of puts. If this is puts only, index.html, I'm putting it on, and I'm overwriting it from ABC to DF. So eventually consistency for overwrites of puts and deletes. If you delete the object also, sometimes you can see the object, and if you refresh it, object is gone. So remember, perfect certification question, and do not confuse because they will change these letters, overrides of puts and deletes. They will remove the put and they say get. They will remove the delete and they will say post. So please remember these two lines very carefully. 100% certification question. Okay. Okay, guys, see here. This is the bucket. Okay. Let's say I have give me one movie which is not released. Bro, what is it, bro? Movie name, huh? Who is hero? Acha. Okay. Okay, bro. Bro movie is there. Okay. Bro movie, let's say I have a movie and it's not released. But I want to show this only to few people. I want to give access to this object only to few people. Will you share the entire bucket to your few people? Only particular object. And also there is a concept called pre-signed URL. What is that? Pre-signed URL. Pre-signed URL meaning, guys, bro is nothing but an object only. There will be an object URL. Guys, using pre-signed URL, I will generate a temporary URL. What is that? Temporary URL, which will be expired in few minutes based on the time I have given. Can I generate a pre-signed URL for this object? A temporary URL will be generated. I'll give this URL to everyone and they start accessing it after 5 minutes. How much time I can enable? 5 minutes, 1 hour, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, I'll enable it. After that, the link will be expired. So if you want to give temporary access to anyone for particular file, go with the pre-signed URL. So I call it as here, temporary access for certain period of time to the users through a temporary object URL. That is called pre-signed URL. So you have the endpoint, right? You have an endpoint. And this endpoint is valid only for certain period of time. So example, can I say, can I release the teaser and I can show it only for 10 minutes? Yes. After 10 minutes, what will happen? URL expires. So this is for temporary purpose. Yes. Understood? Guys, let's see. Where are we? We are in Hyderabad. Yes or no? We are in Hyderabad. So now I have a requirement to upload the data. Can I upload the data in Ireland bucket? Can I create the bucket in Ireland? Yes, I can create the bucket in Ohio also. I can create the bucket in Tokyo also. I can create the bucket in different regions. Yes or no? Okay. So guys, here, now I want to upload the objects from Hyderabad to Ireland. Listen this. That meaning this is using our regular internet. Yes or no? Using internet only we are uploading. Let's say it is taking 5 minutes to upload. Now you want to accelerate the upload, transfer. You want to accelerate the span. You want to speed it up. Generally, if you want to upload any object in particular bucket in a particular region, let's say it is taking 5 minutes, but you want to upload it faster. There is a feature in S3 called transfer acceleration. What is that? Transfer acceleration, guys. So using this is billable. Okay, it's not free. Using this transfer acceleration, what you can do is, guys, you can upload to S3 very faster, and that too from Hyderabad you can upload to Ireland very faster. Why? Because it is using CDN in the backend for faster upload. Remember CDN? CDN means whose network? Using AWS network in the backend, you can upload it. Excellent. So I'll stop it here. And guys, can you control your buckets? You can access control list. Can you control your buckets permissions? How do you control? Using ACL, you can control buckets permissions or bucket permissions or access. That is called ACL, access control list. MPU and MPU is different completely. If you want to upload it, huge file, if you want to upload it, then you need to break the file. But here, that MPU can also be used through transfer acceleration. It is just faster upload. So going with normal bus and going with the multi-axial super, yeah, Volvo. Okay, I'll stop it here. Yeah. So guys, take the screenshot one by one. Let me know once you are done with the screenshot. I'll move to the next one. Thank you for bearing, because I cannot stop this in between. So that's why it took 10 minutes extra. Screenshot is done. Okay. So guys, in Hyderabad, there are heavy rains for next 2 days also. So please take care. Those who are in Hyderabad, mainly. Don't go outside unnecessarily. Watch out the roads. Watch out the manholes. Skid. While you're driving also, there are chances of getting skid. Take care. Okay, next. Next. Super. Can you give the final CC for today, please? Niharika, I'll talk sometime, okay? CC with smile, please. Okay, so that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with the continuation of this S3. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day and good night. Take care.